I'm fairly new, so I'm really excited, but I have just few questions. So I start making calls as well. I truly believe the phone calls can get you, much more further than anything else. And I noticed, like, from the 20 calls that I made the other day, the two of them was actually listed for quite some time. And this was a fairly new bunch of leads that I received just in December 15. That's what I received them. And they listed was like so far, one was listed in April of the 2019, and the second one was like June. Is that a common thing to have them listed so far, but it's a fairly new lead? So, any feedback on that? That's a question number one.
It is common, and it's usually because of Medicaid. So in order for, if somebody doesn't have cash, but they need to transition into long-term care, then until they've liquidated their assets, then the government doesn't pick up the bill. So often, but the exception to that is if you have a home on the market at tax assessed value or higher, then they will go ahead and pick up your bill, and eventually, like a lot of times they sit long times like that because they're overpriced. So they're priced at tax assessment, but they have deferred maintenance, and they're not really going to sell for that. After you pass the 12-month mark, then you can reduce the price to market value. So that's the most common scenario. But there's also, the chance that mom or dad got sick, moved in with the family members, and they went ahead and put the house on the market because they knew they were never going home. Or mom and dad just decided to downsize into a condo or a patio home because the house was getting overwhelming. And then all of a sudden something happened and one passed away. So you can never know, but I find about 25% of them will have either listed before the death or immediately after, just because they're really proactive and need to liquidate assets in order to settle liabilities. So you will find some of that. Now, the other thing to note is a lot of times those listings end up expiring. So you don't want to avoid contact with those people. Call and introduce your service to them. Now, ethically, you're not trying to go after the listing specifically, but you're trying to build rapport and find a way to provide value to them, to help them. So when the listing expires, who's going to be the first phone call? Like, my gosh, she helped us do X, Y, and Z, and she said she was a realtor. Maybe we should let her list it. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. Just don't reach out to them and offer them brokerage services if they're already listed. Reach out to them and see if there's anything else you can help them with in the probate situation. And there's a good chance, about a 2/3 chance in my market, that you'll be able to earn that listing when it expires.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you actually 100%. Actually, the two listings that I sold last year alone was from the listing that was active first, but the consumer keep reaching out to me, and I keep reporting and put them on my email campaign, and I listed both of them, and both of them sell it actually. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. That was not in the probate, but was, through the other lead sources. So the other question I was thinking,
before you go to your next question, I want to share a tip with you, just so for the benefit of everybody. So in those situations where you have to price a house at the tax assessment, a lot of times, like I said, we know they're overpriced. We try to explain that to the social worker, and we try to explain that to Medicaid. No one's listening. They have their rules. I've been successful if they're fed up with their agent or the listing just expired, and let's say they had a 6-month listing, that term is up, and the house still has to be listed at assessed value. I've had no success trying to work through Medicaid. Where I've found success is going to the county tax assessor with a market absorption analysis or a CMA, and photos of the home, showing them that, listen, this thing has structural damage, deferred maintenance, whatever it is, the market value of this home is around X, and, Mrs. Smith can't sell it because Medicaid's insisting she listed at tax assessed value. Obviously, the valuation is out of line. Can you adjust her tax assessment? And the last one I did like this, they had it assessed at like 127, and I was able to drop it to 47,000 because the city assessor was like, you know what, Chad, you're right. So they dropped the assessment like 120 grand. I had 4 offers that day, and so it's just kind of a short circuit to that system. So if you find yourself talking to especially an expired seller who expired, and that's why they put their home on the market, don't worry about the social worker and Medicaid representative. Just go straight to the assessor and try to get them to drop the assessment. So then you can relist it at a really fair market value and get it sold quickly for the family.
No, absolutely.
And quite honestly, like the last one I did, it may have taken me 30 minutes to do a market analysis and pull the photos in the Dropbox folder and email it to the assessor. And it was within the week, they dropped the assessment, and I sent proof to Medicaid and amended the listing price and had offers. So within a week, I completely changed this gentleman's situation. Like, we couldn't sell it at that price ever, but at 47 grand, we were priced right. So just encouragement not to skip over opportunity that's hiding in plain sight because other people don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, actually, I have a few more questions if it's okay, and I can do it
Sure.
briefly too. So another thing, voice message. I listened the lady before me, so she was leaving quite detailed voice message about the, the letter that they should call and stuff like that. So I didn't send any letters, and I was just decided to really kind of hit the calls and see how they take me, beyond the letters. And the reason why I kind of goes with that, because when I do the expired, I started that like a few months before this. I seem to like have pretty good success with the calls when I leave detailed message about the property that I'm calling, and the people is really returning the calls. Just maybe they fed up me to leaving the voicemail messages, but that's another thing. But anyway, should I leave the voice message indicated the property address, or you think I should still leave voice message like something in more like just generic one, the way how the lady left, like, hey, I just sent you a letter, call me to explain why I sent you. I mean, what are your thoughts on the probate leads?
So Rebel script that she was using is largely based on what I found to be my most successful voicemail. The idea is to leave it as vague as possible to create curiosity and get them to call you back. The reason we reference the letter is we pretty much always recommend send a letter first, and it helps warm up the call. A lot of times they'll listen to that voicemail, go find a letter with your name on it, read it, and then call you back. So it's a much warmer inbound call. I get and you certainly don't have to do it that way. If you want to be more aggressive and go straight to the phones, that's fine. You want to leave real estate titles out. I would not use the property address. All we know is that that's the place where they received mail when they passed away. It could be a nursing home, family member home. It could be anything. Now, 80% of the time it is the subject property, but that means 20% of the time you stand to break rapport before you ever have a chance because it's inaccurate, right? So as a general rule, I find it, find a way to leave a voicemail where you don't have to specifically reference the property. Focus on people. And probate is very emotional compared to FSBO, expired, anything else. This is very emotional, and if you do have competition, they're all going straight for the house. Like they're just calling with that one-sided offer. So you want to leave a vague message that leaves enough curiosity out there that sounds way different than everybody else's message, so they call you back first. And we've got a lot of subscriber success stories where they were the only one that they called back and the only letter that they kept just because of that differentiated approach. So you might try something, instead of I sent you a letter and just wanted to make sure you understood why we sent it, just cut the letter out and say, listen, I'm calling regarding the estate of Mabel Smith. I just wanted to let your family know that there is a team of people here in the community that can help families with everything involved in probate that your attorney won't be helping with, which is about 75% of the responsibility. Give me a call at 555-1234 if you'd like to check. And just be really, let them know that there's a community service to help them with the non-legal aspects of probate, and then get off the phone. And I think you'll probably get good callback rates on that. But I would try that, and you can. In that example, I referenced the name of the deceased to let them know that's what it was about instead of the property address. And you may even cut that out, and you could say, hey, this is Chad. I've got a team of folks here locally that help families going through probate. We do everything that the attorney doesn't do, and we try to reach out early because we know it's probably not a great time for you right now, and we know we can help. Give me a call, 555-1234.